Please stand for the national anthem, which was pre-recorded by the University of Arkansas Scholar Cantorum, directed by Dr. Stephen E. Caldwell of the Department of Music. You may be seated. Member of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, graduates, parents, and friends of graduates, welcome to our spring 2021 commencement. We are here to honor individuals who have completed the requirements for degrees conferred by this university. Congratulations. This is the most satisfying event in the life of a university. Today, we acknowledge the work of the faculty and the achievements of our students who are graduating. More than 6,500 students will receive degrees on our campus this year. Our governing board is composed of 10 distinguished citizens of Arkansas. Today, I'm pleased to announce one of those board of members, Trustee and Secretary of the Board, Tommy Boyer. I'm also pleased to announce President of the University of Arkansas System, Dr. Don Bobbitt. And at this time, Dr. Bobbitt will bring greetings from the Board of Trustees and the University of Arkansas System.
Thank you, Chancellor. I bring you greetings and congratulations on behalf of the University of Arkansas Board of Trustees. You know, as president of the University of Arkansas System and as someone who has spent much of my professional career in higher education, commencement ceremonies always serve as an uplifting reminder of the overarching reason why I became an educator. It is students and now graduates like you who enrich our campuses, challenge our assumptions, and leave us at commencement to share the gifts of your education with your communities. Thank you for providing inspiration for all of us during these very challenging times. No previous group of graduates has entered the workforce at a more critical time for their profession or under more challenging circumstances brought on by a worldwide pandemic. While the past year has been difficult and unnerving in terms of the uncertainty we faced each day, I choose to look at the situation as being symbolic of the road ahead, a path that will be filled with many challenges, both big and small, that you will overcome. Your perseverance to complete your degree has shown that you choose to be uplifted by hope instead of by fear. Our academic communities have proven to be resilient, dynamic, innovative, and compassionate, especially when facing a challenge as overwhelming as this pandemic. It is very clear that many things have changed over the past year, but as you have demonstrated, if you hold true to your goals, great things can be achieved, even if that means finding alternative ways to live and learn while exploring unexpected, new, and exciting paths. By earning your degree, each of you has not only made a profound impact on yourselves and your families, but you have also advanced the cultural, intellectual, and economic well-being of this state. And so on behalf of a university system that represents all of Arkansas, I thank each of you and congratulate you on your achievement. It's my hope that you'll carry the fundamental lessons of your educational experience with you and utilize these lessons to help navigate the uncertain road ahead. Instilling these qualities in our graduates ultimately represents the highest ideal of the entire faculty, the staff, and even those charged with the less exciting work of administration. So thank you again for your commitment to yourself, your commitment to your family, and to this state. I wish you much success as you leave here to make your mark on society. As President Kennedy remarked about 60 years ago, you cannot possibly do all the good the world needs, but the world needs all the good you can do. Good luck. Godspeed, graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Bobbitt. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce some members of the university's administration and faculty who are with us up on the stage today. Please hold your applause until the introductions have been made. First of all, from our campus, Dr. Mary Savin, Chief Marshal and Bearer of the Mace, Professor of Crop, Soil, and Environmental Sciences. We also have Dr. Charles Robinson, who is our Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Patricia Koski, Dean of Graduate School and International Education. And we're also very fortunate to have with us Ms. Diane Bowles. She will interpret for persons with hearing impairments. Please join me in recognizing these participants in today's ceremony. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Bobbitt back to the podium to introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, Chancellor. It's indeed my pleasure to introduce someone from my old college, Fulbright College of Arts and Sciences. We're privileged to have Larry Foley address our graduates today. Dr. Foley is a veteran broadcast journalist and educator, a documentary filmmaker, and currently a professor and chair of the School of Journalism and Strategic Media at the U of A. Foley began his career, his television career that is, in 1977 at KATV Channel 7 as the Pine Bluff Bureau Chief and host of Good Morning Arkansas. He spent 7.5 years at KATV working as a reporter, a news assignment editor, a morning news anchor, and a sports producer. In 1984, Foley joined the Arkansas Educational Television Network. Over the course of 9 years at AETN, Foley worked his way up the ladder, becoming Director of Production, Director of Programming and Production, and finally, Deputy Director. Foley then joined the faculty here at the U of A in 1993. He is the founder of UATV and has been inducted into both the Lemke Alumni Society Hall of Honor and the Fayetteville Schools Hall of Honor. 2017, he was inducted into the Mid-America Emmy Silver Circle for a distinguished career invested in teaching, reporting, writing, producing, and directing stories, mostly about his beloved home state of Arkansas. Foley's films have earned 7 Mid-America Emmys from the National Academy of Television, Arts, and Sciences, and 20 Emmy nominations in writing, journalistic enterprise, history, cultural history, special programs, and community service. Finally, as part of the university's Centennial Celebration, Foley is chair of a working group developing a documentary entitled If This Walk Could Talk. This tells the story of the U of A through the personal reflections of those whose names are etched on Senior Walk. Let's give a warm welcome to one of our own, Professor Larry Foley.
What an impressive bunch of fighting Razorbacks. Congratulations, you have come a long way through some turbulent times, crossed some swift waters, and you have made it here to this moment in time in your own history. Way to go, graduates. But here's the deal. Commencement is not the end of your road, it's the beginning. What you do when you walk out of here will determine the metal by which you are forged. The mid-20th century philosopher, originally from the Hill District in St. Louis, Lawrence Peter Barra, later of the Bronx, known as Yogi, once said, "When you come to the fork in the road, take it." So your fork in the road awaits outside those doors at the corner of Razorback Road and Nolan Richardson Drive. Of all of the test questions that you have answered in your days as a U of A student, the biggest tests are those that await at your own personal fork in the road. An early fork in the road happened with me in my senior year in high school. After basketball season, I decided I needed a job to help pay for college. I knew I was going to college. I knew where I was going to college. And so I answered an ad in the paper, wanted snow cone driver, Captain Cool snow cones, apply in person, must have driver's license. So I showed up, drove down there in my '62 Chevy with 25 cents worth of gas in it. Gas was 19.9 in those days. And I applied and was hired on the spot. I was assigned a pink Ford Econoline van with a bell mounted on top of the van and a rope that hung where I could ring the bell while driving through the neighborhood where I was assigned. I didn't know it at the time, I found out later, that the neighborhood that was my route was the toughest neighborhood in that part of Houston. But it really didn't matter to me. I was young and enthusiastic, and who doesn't like the snow cone man? I mean, you drive through, and Houston, are you kidding me? It's hot. And everyone loves the snow cone man. And it was cheap. Everybody could afford it. 15 cents for one snow cone. You could spend 20 cents for extra flavors. You could spend 25 cents for a rainbow mountaintop, the top of it all. So as I worked week after week, the sticky substance would get on my pants so thick that when I went home from a day's driving, I would take my pants off and literally stand them in the corner. So after I'd done the job for a while, I realized this was not going to be my life's work. And I asked my mom, well, what should I do? And he said, well, you know, you need to give your boss, Captain Cool, 2 weeks' notice. So at dusk, at the end of a long, hot Saturday, I pulled my van into the parking lot. I was the last driver coming back at that time. And the captain met me. I turned over my cash box, and he took it, and I said, as I got out of the van, I need to talk to you about something. And I said, I'm going to be leaving in 2 weeks. I'm going to go to college in Arkansas. And he just stared a hole right through me. Captain Cool was a man of no words. So we walked across the parking lot, and we came to this incredible, beautiful, igloo white, not a snow cone van, ice cream machine, soft serve ice cream, all kinds of different ice creams and toppings. He'd been working on this thing for a while, but the rest of the drivers and I, we always wondered, you know, who's going to get to drive that? Is Captain Cool going to drive it? We could make a lot of money driving that ice cream truck. So he never looked at me again, and he looked right at that ice cream machine, and he said, you're my best driver. This was going to be yours. Why in the hell do you want to go to Arkansas and to college? So there I was at my own early fork in the road. It kind of worked out. So the question is, what are you going to do when you leave here today? Which fork will you take? Nettie Barnett, the first name on Senior Walk. You can go over there and check it out. From that very first graduating class in 1876. She hopped on her mule, shoved her diploma in her saddlebag, and headed to the hills for her very first teaching assignment. Nearly 100 years later, her son Edwin, also a U of A alum, endowed a scholarship fund to the UA that was noted in his will. Will you become the next Mary Lowe Good, who, after receiving her PhD in chemistry from the U of A, became a leading research scientist and later president of the American Chemical Society, holding important government positions under 4 presidents of the United States. Will your life be as impactful as former Razorback football star Maurice "Footsie" Britt, whose heroism in World War II earned him the Medal of Honor? He was shot up in that war while rescuing some fellow American soldiers. He later returned to Arkansas with a long career in public service, eventually becoming the Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas. Will you be like my late friend, Elin Harris, the first black Razorback cheerleader, who as an openly gay man wrote best-selling novels? Or the next Charles Portis, who majored in journalism here at the university because someone told him it was an easy major? He went on to become a national and then international correspondent, came back to Arkansas, and wrote one of the best Western novels of all time about a precocious teenage girl from Yell County in search of a man with true grit. How will you handle adversity when it slaps you in the face? When C.C. Mercer came to the U of A to study law in the 1940s as an African American, he was forbidden to use public restrooms on campus. And for a while, he had to sit behind a pole that separated the black law students from the whites. After graduation, he enjoyed a long, successful law career, became a courageous civil rights leader, and in 1957, you'll remember that year, he drove young black students from Little Rock to and from Central High School to protect them from the mobs who wanted no part of equal rights. Or will you become a winning baseball coach like UA graduate Dave Van Horn, who now coaches the best baseball team in America? Outside my office door hangs a large color portrait of one of my former students, Lutilius Holmes Jr. of West Memphis, T.J. Holmes of ABC's Good Morning America. He left a message for those who would follow in the steps that he trod on our campus. It says, "The journey started here. Where will yours take you?" So it's out there. The road less traveled awaits at the fork in the road, at your fork in the road. So in closing, I leave you with the wisdom of Jack Roosevelt Robinson, Jackie, 42, who said, "A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives." Godspeed, class of 2021. It's time to go forth and make a difference. And as you depart the mountains of God, remember that Arkansas runs deep in you, and Razorbacks never yield. Go Hogs.
Thank you, Larry. Before we begin conferring degrees, I'd like to say just a few words myself. First, congratulations to you and to everyone who helped you get here. Today represents years of hard work and dedication to a goal. And let's face it, the universe decided to add a few extra obstacles to graduation this year and last winter and the spring before. You remember, right? Some of you absolutely had to be in the lab or the field doing research and working on your thesis, but instead found yourself stuck at home watching The Office reruns. Perhaps Bridgerton, maybe even Tiger King. Don't worry, I don't judge. I think I saw at least myself 10 years worth of old Doctor Who's reruns. And I know one thing, I think I saw every episode of Forensic Files twice. Whatever you had to do to keep from bouncing off the walls, the point is you got the work done. And now you're getting a degree from a great university, which means you're on the way to a healthier, to a wealthier, and a happier life. And I think it's fair to say this year's commencement coincides with a renewed sense of optimism, a genuine feeling of hope. We are increasingly getting out, we're getting around and getting back to living the lives we once took for granted. Although some of you introverts out there probably enjoyed a little bit not having to make so much awkward chit-chat around your departments. So typically at commencement, I like to highlight individual stories of real perseverance, people who overcome more than the usual to earn their degree. But in a year like this, where so many people face so many difficult challenges, often isolated from their family, from their friends and colleagues, struggling to make ends meet, or working under stressful conditions, I think everyone here needs to take a bow, including the folks behind you who worked harder than ever to make this year successful. So congratulate yourself. And also I'll add that we learned a lot along the way about ourselves, about our community, and about society. One thing we learned is that the things we take for granted can be taken away from us suddenly and unexpectedly. This ceremony was one which couldn't be held last spring, and that clarified for many that commencement is symbolically and psychologically important to completing college. It provides a clear sense of closure to what are often some of the most important and enriching and challenging years of our lives. A short walk across this short stage symbolizes a journey's years that were years and years in the making. I, for one, hated last spring to see that canceled. We can travel to the list of things suddenly not taken from us: concerts, movie theaters, dining out, hanging with our friends, hanging in our departments, our social clubs and events and intramurals and all kinds of things. In short, the little things in life. But the little things all add up to having a very satisfying life. They shape our days and they give our days meaning. And now, fingers crossed, the little things are coming back. So as I contemplate sending you out into the world where a specter of COVID-19 seems to be fading, I find mostly what I want for you is not necessarily career success, bigger challenges, or even lifelong learning. I mean, I really want those for you. But first, what I want is for you to be able to get back to the little things that enrich your lives and give your lives meaning. Seeing family, spending time with old friends, going on a road trip, hearing live music, or whatever else brings you joy. Before tackling your next challenge, I hope you can take the time to enjoy some of the little things that we used to take for granted, because you never know when they will disappear, or when you'll be stuck in your home for months on end thinking, why am I still watching this? That said, I do know one thing that will never disappear from you, and that's your degree. It's your entryway to new opportunities. It's the key to opening new doors, and more often than not, it's a passport to a much more fulfilling life. So congratulations to all of you. You have my very best wishes. Thank you for being part of the U of A community. It's been an honor to have you here. So thank you and congratulations. And now for the real reason we're here. We will now confer degrees upon the candidate. Provost Robinson.
Thank you, Chancellor. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the various schools and colleges, these candidates who have completed all requirements are presented to you for the conferring of degrees. Please rise, candidates. Chancellor Steinmetz, it is my pleasure to present these candidates to you. On behalf of the faculty, deans, and myself, I recommend that degrees be conferred as indicated in their diplomas.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree indicated on your diploma with all the rights and all the privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, graduates. And you now may be seated. We will begin the recognition of our graduates. Our first recognition will be for a student who passed away while earning a degree. Her family is here to receive the honorary degree for her. Following that recognition will be our doctoral degree recipients, followed by specialist degrees and master's degrees. After crossing the stage, candidates will take another photo and then exit the arena through the East Tunnel. Guests can meet their students outside the arena. We ask that graduates and guests not congregate if possible. Thank you for joining us today.
To accept the degree, Master of Science and Arts in University Studies, posthumous honoris causa, awarded posthumously to Carmen Alexandria Thompson, received by her brother, Rhett Thompson.
Brian Coots.
Steve Muga.
Adam Z. Hassick.
Bradley Taylor Martin.
Prashant Balaji Devisetti Ravishankar. Ayub Abdulaziz Al-Othaim. Alda Diaz Perez. Namdi Simon Ekesi. Taylor Bliss Burnett. Jacqueline Jo Kubik. Marine Jamal.
Alexa Raquel May. Mamelo Mohali. Jaslyn Cherise Sykes. Zane Emilia Sarma.
Justin Lee Klepechka. J.P. Thierry Habimana. David Castilla Casadiego.
John Phillips Moore II. Jesse Leland Roberts.
Ahmed Al-Mohammedi. Casey McDaniel Jones. Ryan Kading. Mohammed Saad Al-Jabbar. Najla Altanayan.
Rakib Shariar.
Hamdi Mansour Al-Bunashi. Reina Alizadeh. Tani Andrea Chavez Esparza. Pijush Kanti Ghosh.
Shamrat Nag.
Amin Asadi.
Hung Chan. Nagma Vohra. Marzia Zaman.
Bassem A. Al-Khalil.
Katie Wilson Powell.
Hillary Donna Fisher. Alexis D. Hilario Perez.
Roshani Sharma Acharya.
Caitlin Victoria Fitzgerald.
Virgilio Quintero.
Eric Hughes. Mitu Chandra Acharjee. T. Down. Manel Abdullah Al-Dosari. Wafa Jibril.
Shelby Maddox. Kimberly Zoldak. Azma Sadoun.
Mohammed Shamir Abdeen.
Kinari Y. Patel. Samir Kumar Saha.
Ilana Star Berman. Tia Marie Binion. Stephanie Marie Long.
Andrew Provenzano. Noah Remick Walkowitz.
Dia Benali.
Angela Uchechukwu Mude. Laura Colby Rucker.
Ellen Zaplinski. Kendra Kathleen Farnsworth. Michael Adkison. Jose T. Ayala Rodriguez. Melody Faith Berry. Renee Brochu. Samuel Buchanan. David Kajayas Calvi. Charlotte Cates Castro. Emily Kaylin Crawford. Holly Davis. Aaron Joseph East. Matthew Elliott Fawcett. Benjamin Figueroa. Adam Francisco Frankie. Riley Gibson. Kendall Ann Hevner. Angel Hout. Whitney Alexis King. Tenzin Kunsang. Regina Kutuzova. Obed Lami. Caleb Loudermilk. Ai-Ling Lu.
William Leslie McCarley. Matthew Ryan Moore. Thomas Caperton Nelson. Kaylin Devon Oliver. Jennifer Hiromi Pacey. Veronica Godinho Pereira. Jonathan Rancudo. Caitlin Danielle Tidwell. Caleb Austin Turner. Warrington E. Seabree. Jordi Esteban Vargas Barahona. Isadoro Villa Ligero. Ronald Gene Smith III. Angelica Guadalupe Villagrana. Shane Martin White. Hannah Elizabeth McCarley.
Elizabeth Alsbach. Leah Grant. Lisa Ann Otten. Jude Balthazar. Ethan Godfrey. Hannah Rebecca Lastra. Stacy Christina Lyles.
Gustavo Samudia Ortega. Xiao Yang.
Autumn Lewis Spicer. Christina Ala Coco. Zara Alizada. Faisal Hamid El Gashtani. Murphy Brianne Acock. Kent Christy Barnes II. Maggie Rose Bridges. Anna Regina Cabrera Ayuso. Wells William Clark. Victoria Page Bailey. McKinley Elise Coles. Dalton Harris Craig. Israel Cuevas. Bailey Ann Darnell. Monica Devanzo. Maria Roberta de Oliveira. Keely Dovish. Morgan Gramlich. Reagan Grubbs.
Katie Morrison.
Matthew Hahn. Mutia Hafrida Hanafia. Mohammed Abul Hayat. Kaylee Beth Hopper. Abdullah Ibrahimzada.
Asher Sampong.
Sonali Lenadua. Mary Jane Little.
Andrew Mackey. Alexandria Nicole McLeod. James Douglas McWard. Alix Montoya Beltran. Ashley Jo Muller. Whitney Allison Murchison Kastner. Jacob Samuel Norsworthy. Angelica Otting. Made Harumi Padmaswari. Annika Noel Parks. Bailey Peterson Wilhelm. Wade Pearson. Riri Wiyanti Retnaningchas. Matthew Greer Richardson.
Diploma presented by his father, Dr. Mike Richardson, Professor of Horticulture in the Dale Bumpers College of Agricultural, Food, and Life Sciences.
Kristen Elise Roberts.
Ian Kennedy.
Tui Vu Scanlon. Rebecca Edleen Sterner. James Brock Stockland. James Timothy Beckham Stultz. Racine Deanne Cleveland. Courtney Trimble. Ashlyn Jane Ussery. Hai Xia Wang. Ashton Rain Williams. Elena Chungang Nkuman.
Alay Alkuli.
Katrina Irene Michael.
Rakeem Cartwright. Haley Michelle Duncan. Sayuris Atencio Mojica.
Emily Page Sherrill. Noah Drake Waller.
John Calvin Allenbaugh.
Aaron Leviticus McGinn.
Pierre Obed Doril. Taylor Lee Duncan. Matthew Furtado. David Elias Gonzalez Castillo. Jeremy Lingo.
Jose Isaac Santos Batista. Estefano Soria Pearson. Joanna Yang.
Darren Keith Chandler II. Chong Yang Lo. Craig A. Leach.
Blake Conrad Pyatt.
Michelle Lowe. Payal Shovik S. Acharya. Namita Balani. Lexi Gentili. Anashay Kuram Hussain. Avery Adkins. Grace Uamwisa Bagabe. Kennedy Bethel. Eleanor Braden. Celeste Kramer. Michael Hoffman. Sarah Elizabeth Brown. Thomas Elwell. Joshua Allen Jensen. Sheila Kagaju. Matthew E. Kelly. Joshua David Liddell.
Haley McFarland. Anusha Madagari. Deschanel Raquel Maycock. Brian Connor Muleman. Samson Olufonso Ogundepo. Nicholas Xavier O'Neill. Blake Rhine. Joy Ripslinger. Trevor Robinson. Christian Ruanga. Alex Stephan Russo. Spencer Schweinfurth. Corey Matthew Shores. Yusra Sultana Hayat Ali. Shanae Thomas.
Justin Sparkman.
Spencer Wicker.
Ashley Vogel Aguilar. Alexa Blomberg. Karina Campbell Green. Delaney Marie Cash. Stephanie Completo. Catherine Hope Davis. Cheyenne Elizabeth Davis. Justin Dennison. Vania Greco. Rachel Elizabeth Jarko.
Jessica McGee Mallard. Jessica Mares. Abigail Jones McAdory. Audrey Kendall Moore. April Robertson. Mallory E. Sherry. Madeline Williams.
Austin Saunders.
Fangzhou Christine Chen Smith.
Hunter A. McFarland.
Thank you for joining us in person and online for today's historic 2021 commencement event. Congratulations to all. Please stay safe.